Marijuana rocks.
All right, well, this is where everybody comes and sits and waits to speak to the governor. Last year we came in here and we waited for a while. We did the same thing last year. We let him know in advance that we were going to be here. We did get in to see the governor's chief of staff last year. She was not happy about the issue at all. So we didn't get too far with her. But the point is that we asked her at that point in time, when could we get an appointment with the governor? Because he's the one that has to make the decision on this issue and he is the one we have to talk to. So basically, you know, after going around and around with them, they finally said, come back in 6 months and ask for another appointment. So you can see like the attitude is, oh, you know, just push them away and push them away. But we have become more determined. We spent 109, after we were told that, we spent 109 days sitting on the Capitol lawn every day at high noon, just coming together and partaking of the Holy Sacrament together and praying for there to be a decision that would change the future of cannabis in this state. So basically, we have continued, we started some legal actions. I entered the Capitol building last July 3rd with a cannabis plant to make a statement that this plant belongs to the people, it's my right to have it, and I don't recognize any laws against it. And essentially my plant was taken away from me after I was in here for 2.5 hours and left. It was taken away from me by the state police. They were very courteous, they were very friendly, they were very supportive. They really, the ones that we were speaking to, they gave me the ticket, respected us for what we were doing. They know we were right. They know this is a really horrible law. It's created by corruption, and it does take the people to change it. So I just want you to know that you guys coming out today, taking this step, is just one step. Like they're taking baby steps toward legalization. Well, this is a big step for us to come together, not be afraid, and confront the governor on this issue or anyone that wants to keep this plant from us and keep threatening us with arrest. So basically, we're staying at it. We are constantly, the federal case that I filed in February got kicked out on its booty in about 1 week. And essentially, the federal judge said, cannabis possession is against federal and state laws. And I already knew that, that's why I came to the federal court. I'm saying I have all the evidence that New York State knew in 1977 that cannabis kills cancer. And so this report came out in 1974. This put a lot of momentum behind the marijuana movement, and this is why they were able to decriminalize this horrible, dangerous plant in 1977, 3 years later. And what they did say, the same man that's writing the medical marijuana bill wrote the decriminalization bill in 1977. That's Dick Godfrey. And his statement was that scientific evidence clearly shows no significant harm or no harm at all from marijuana use. There is no reason for the New York State legislature to continue or have continued criminal sanctions. They did that because they said they did not want to appear to condone marijuana use. Well, if it's not dangerous, we don't need them to condone it. We just want them to get out of the garden and come back when we call. And that's all we want as sovereign citizens. We know what our rights are, we know what we don't have, and we know how to get it back. So basically, the federal case, even though it was thrown out, I filed an appeal, so it's in the appellate court down in New York City. We are definitely looking for some kind of professional lawyer to take this case because we have an excellent case. We have not yet found, not even the New York Civil Liberties Union will take this case, even though they have stood up for this issue. In '77, they said, they told the New York State Legislature that they should repeal the law, and they did not repeal it. So we are now asking for them to finish what they started in 1977 and repeal the cannabis laws in New York State and lead this nation back to prosperity by bounty for the county, you know, and pastures of plenty, and have all the wonderful things that come from this plant and all the people that grow the plant to actually have the opportunity to make the money. And then when they get the plant out into the marketplace, the state can make some money from sales, and they can make some money from income tax. But as far as regulation and tax, we do not recognize any of the state's authority over this plant at all. Once they found out it wasn't dangerous, they lost any state compelling interest, and so legally they do not have any lawful right to continue to arrest us. And this is why we're here today. This is why I'm so glad you guys showed up. Can I just ask a question? How many people have actually been confronted by a police officer over this issue? Okay, that's what I'm talking. Amen. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is outrageous. You know, there's no excuse for this. And so Wednesday we have a full day booked here, 12 to 6. We're going to see if we get Dirty Paris. This group that's playing out there right now. We're going to jet back out there. We can get out a lot faster than we can get in. And we're going to go out and get some more music from them. And on Wednesday, hopefully, if any of you can, come back. We're going to be 12 to 6. I don't know if you go to school or whatever. But try to get some of your friends to come over here, and let's see if we can double the number so that when we do get in possibly here again on Wednesday, and if the governor is here, then, you know, he'll see there are people that care. And let me give you let me tell you this. When we went to a meeting down, the DPA, the Drug Policy Alliance, we went to a public hearing down there. Several of the legislators told us we have to force them on this issue. They will not stick their neck out at all on this issue because we haven't. They said, why should we stick our necks out when you won't? So you guys are showing that you will. And so if the more of us are willing to stand up on this issue, we have the winning ticket. The law is on our side, not theirs. They have not diddly squat for evidence that it's dangerous, and they had all the evidence that it wasn't. So this law is all based on fraud and just hot air. So we can just blow that right out of the courtroom. All I'm asking is for them to come into court and show how in 1977 they were able to decriminalize a dangerous substance in New York State, because they did do that. And if it wasn't dangerous, what evidence did they have that it wasn't? And to bring that in, to bring it into court, and to show if it's dangerous, what evidence do they have that it's dangerous? We know they don't have any evidence that it's dangerous. All the evidence they have is that it is a very good, healthy, harmless plant. That is such an amazing thing. It grows everywhere. You can grow your own food, clothing, shelter, medicine, fetal oil, paper, you name it. So the point is that last year I brought a cannabis plant into the Capitol building. I was in here for about 2.5 hours with it. A lot of the police did not really pay any attention to us, because they knew we were fighting on this issue. They didn't want to be the one to confront us, so they just kind of like passed the buck. And finally, we were in here for 2.5 hours, we left, and then we were finally confronted outside the building. I did get a ticket, the plant was taken, and that began an action that is also on appeal right now. I also got arrested on the way here with the plant, so I had 2 plants taken. But the arrest and the being chained to the bench and taken before the judge in handcuffs and this whole thing enabled me to win that case. I took it pro se, not guilty, and I represented myself. I did win one of the charges, the first arrest, but the second one I lost, and that's on appeal. So anyway, that's the update. So we do have a federal action going right now. We do intend to win this battle. And so if any of you guys will come back next week, it's awesome. And I don't know if you guys want to ask any quick question or anything.
What time are you actually going inside on Wednesday?
We have to actually make a time. It's going to be earlier, probably 3. Probably 3 o'clock, because that's kind of like when the governor is kind of coming to the end of his business, if there's any with the legislature and or anyone else, and hopefully he will make room to see us. So that we're going to make another attempt at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, and we'll be informing the governor. We did send a return receipt requested notice into him and a letter stating all these things, you know, why we should have this plant and how to save the country, the state, and how he could be the bearer of good news this year for his state, and hope to God he is. So anyway, God, I thank you guys for coming. So you want to go back out and listen to some music? All right? Okay. All right, guys. Let's go. This is so awesome.